I'm here working on our tiny home, and I wanted to talk a little bit about click-lock flooring. Everyone else is watching Harry Potter. Except for Oliver and Eli. They're back in the back bedroom playing with Playmobil. And I'm up here doing click-lock flooring and giving the world a few pointers about it. So the paint's done, and now that it's time to do floor, it's always nice to paint before you do floor. And got to do it. The only thing I'm gonna have to paint is once I install the baseboards, which have to float just above the floating floor. I'll pre-paint them, but I will have to come back and caulk and touch them up. But otherwise, step one to installing flooring is paint first, and then you don't have to worry about covering your flooring. So here's a few things about click-lock. I'm not sponsored by Home Depot, but this is a Home Depot life-proof product. It's like $3.19 or $3.35 or something. It's $3 and some change a square foot. It's vinyl, it's waterproof. I think this is the stone composition stuff, can't remember. Anyway, it's going through the whole tiny home because it can be mopped, it can be spilled on, it's easy to install, it's durable. I'm 51 years old, it will outlast me. If I've lived to 80 or 90, it'll still be here. So, paint if you've got to. The next thing is make sure your subfloor is straight and clean. In this case, since I took a trailer, a single wide trailer, and gutted it to the frame and built a house on top of it, I got brand new subfloor. So I'm good to go. But read the instructions on how far out of whack your floor can be and whatnot. It'll tell you in the box how much you can be outside of nominal. Step 3, make sure that you maintain a 1/4 inch, 6 millimeter perimeter of flooring to the wall. So you don't need to go, you can buy fancy spacers, you can use a paint stick, which is 1/4 millimeter, a big paint stick. But see that gap right there? Make sure that's all the way around. Don't make it too big, because your baseboard has to cover it. I'm using a product that's a little over 2 inches tall and just about 3/4 inch deep, so that'll cover that no problem. The next thing, step 1, paint first. Step 2, get your floor right. Step 3, maintain that perimeter. Step 4, you stagger your joints and do it in an attractive way. Like, I hate the fact that this is imitation wood flooring. I wish they'd just make it gray. I don't need a photo of some wood. I would just like gray. But I couldn't get any solid color laminate that was waterproof I couldn't find anything under $8 a square foot. And that is just like way beyond the budget. So I was stuck with this imitation fake wood grain, but at least if I'm gonna have it, I'm gonna go full wide plank, so they don't have that fake seam in between the other seams, which is horrible. And then I'm gonna stagger it. So I started out with one, they all come in, it's all basically 4 feet. So I started out with a 4-footer and, made that first course. And then, I did a 1-footer, and then I did a 16-incher, and then I did a 42-incher, right? So these first 4 courses, absolutely none of the seam stagger. And I also randomize there's only like 8 or 9 patterns in this, and you can see there's a pattern that matches that. But I still have shuffled it up as much as I can. So that's a really nice thing to do. On this last note, on step 4, staggering it, you've got to lay this out in some kind of staggered pattern, but most manufacturers, including this one, want you to keep at least an 8-inch piece at the beginning or end of a course. So I got a 12-incher over there, which is totally fine. You can go down to 8. So make sure you read your instructions. And I can shoot a video in the future about like how to do this, but honestly, it is incredibly easy. I don't have anyone to hold the camera while I do this, but so I'll maybe do another video in another room or something. But like, it's all tongue and groove, and this piece is I'm getting ready to install. You can see the tongue and groove there. You drop it down, slide it over. I'll put a piece of wood in front of this, smack it with a hammer, It'll drop into place. That seam, you can hit it with a rubber mallet. I hit it with a piece of cloth covered wood. It's fine. It doesn't scratch the floor at all. When you get down toward the ends over there, you can use a little bar that you can buy or make one that basically allows you to hit it with a hammer to pull it in. But the click lock is incredibly easy to do. Most manufacturers recommend that you lay out the first 2 courses, about 6 inches away from the wall, get it all kind of straight, and then slide it in. That's a good idea. If your room's a little wonky, or you got issues with the walls or whatever, it's kind of nice to make that. You want to kind of make them roughly parallel. And then I happen to be able to come out to about 12 3/4. It's 12.6 from wall to wall there, and I'll have a threshold there. You buy a special threshold. So if you're going to come out with a little sliver in the end, you might want to cut. It just depends on what you want to do with your life, but you might want to cut the first course to make it so that you've got mostly a full course over here. I do, so I didn't worry about it. I started with a full course because what's going to happen is when I put my threshold in, that's going to wind up being a full course right at the threshold. So it just happened to work out that way. So I'll have basically a full course all the way through from the doorway to the wall, the full width, which is 8.75 inches. Anyway, there's 4 little pointers. Paint first, if you got to paint. Make sure your floor's not wonky. Make sure it's level within manufacturer specifications. Make sure you maintain that perimeter, and make sure you stagger your joints, and make sure that you follow the minimum lengths, which for this manufacturer happens to be 8 inches. Those are the basics, and you follow those basics and you'll have no problems laying any of these click lock floors.